Yo,
Real estate investment backed by.
what's up, guys? Hope everybody's doing good. I see a lot of people apparently hitting their stop loss, crying in the chat. Yo, no, don't mean it in a bad way, guys. Come on, like being a little bit too late for the stream, man. I'm just taking time out of my day just to be here with you guys, sharing some value. But still, people find it kind of like appropriate to give me a fucking headache in the chat. If you don't want to wait, then just don't even join. Like, not my fucking problem. But for everybody who's here and wants to obviously get some value, then yeah, appreciate you. And it's nice to have you guys here on stream because the markets are going well. Markets are moving very well even. Up massive today. EURUSD sell that I showed you guys on the inside Discord. I dropped it inside Discord. So hope you guys are in. I'm currently in Dubai. So yeah, I hope you guys are in that position because it is running pretty well. I'm getting a phone call. Don't even know who that is. Plus 55. Where's plus 55 the phone number from? Does anybody know? Not sure who that is. But yeah, no, markets are moving well. GU is selling off really, really hard. Hope some of you are in those sells as well. We're currently seeing the markets move with some dollar strength. I'm holding on to those GU sells. I'm just giving everybody the moment to join in. And I'm also making sure that Oscar is joining in. Let me get Oscar here on the stream. Oscar, can you hear me? Let's see. Yo, Oscar.
What's up, guys?
Wait, I'm adding him. You guys can hear him, but they can't see you yet. Let me add you. To this. Let's see if this stuff works. Trying to get Oscar in here. Yeah, there he is. Okay, Oscar, you can talk, man. You should be able. Everybody should be able to hear you now, and you can see my screen. Plus 55 Brazil, yeah. What could that be? Maybe some family. Yeah, Oscar, everybody can see you now. So you can say hi to everyone.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm ready for the live session.
Fantastic. No, you're already in the live, man. Everybody's watching you.
Yeah, I can see. I'm following the live session as well.
Okay,
so
great.
that I can talk with everyone.
All right, everybody can hear Oscar loud and clear. Yeah, we're gonna do one with Dom as well, for sure. Okay, fantastic. Everybody can hear you, Oscar. So, Oscar, how have you been doing, man? How's your day been?
Yeah, doing super good. Yeah, again, I'm like just analyzing the markets. Not in GU at the moment because missed it. Or wasn't really looking to sell. Although
we talked about it last time on stream. Remember?
Yeah. And also with the fundamentals, definitely a beautiful setup. Going to be explaining my vision on it as well. But yeah, overall, just chilling today, watching the markets develop, waiting for setups to occur. And yeah, that's basically it for today.
Good stuff, brother. Good stuff, brother. Yeah, I mean, let's go over what have been the best setups pretty much so far today, and where the money is being made at the moment. Because from what I can see at the moment, most of the money is being made definitely on those GU shorts and on EU shorts. We've been talking about EURUSD and GU quite a lot. Obviously, at the same time, price action maybe has not been the best. EU, we discussed it last week, that we still would both prefer to see EURUSD head down lower towards the overall daily liquidity, which is situated over here. Now, obviously for ourselves, we're not a big fan of looking for longs within this area of demand, as we see it as a relatively low probability area of demand. Reason being is because if you want to go long on your USD from a daily perspective and look for, let's say, any next big swing in towards the highs, you will pretty much always need to see daily liquidity get grabbed. And in this particular situation with your USD, we haven't yet seen daily liquidity. If we look at the previous kind of like pullbacks or retracements, you will always at least see, hey, for example, here, some liquidity within the overall push up getting taken out before the next push up happened. And the time after that as well, where we had obviously like a lot of liquidity created here in the overall impulse up. First liquidity low gets grabbed. And then from there, only there, we head up higher again. And we are just looking for the same situation here, where at least one liquidity low on the daily needs to get grabbed before looking for the next push up. So yeah, those shorts on your USD are running, and they still have potential to be held onto for a little bit longer. And same goes for the pound. Obviously, this morning we had some bad pound news. I'm not sure if everybody's aware. Oscar, did you read anything about that you want to update the people on?
Didn't really read a lot today. I was mainly
Okay.
focusing on working out, etc. But I saw it definitely pass by with some bad. I thought it was unemployment numbers today.
Yeah, unemployment. So unemployment was higher than expected. If I'm not mistaken, it was 4.2% or 5.2%. I think 5.2%. Let me quickly check. So yeah, unemployment was higher than expected, and that overall was bearish for the pound. And furthermore, we also saw some data that 1 in 5 young people in the UK are not employed, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was the number.
Yeah, exactly. 1 in 5.
Yeah,
Crazy
1 in 5.
number.
Yeah, crazy numbers. Crazy numbers. So overall, we're looking for a weaker pound. We've been talking about a weaker pound for, I think, quite some time now, you and me. I think
Yeah,
there have
definitely.
been
I think
many sessions where we talked about potential further weakness for the pound, no?
exactly. I just view the pound as being weak, and I would just like to short it on every single currency. I think the best ones are maybe GBPUSD, as the dollar could kind of gain. I think you could give some like a little bit of insights into that as well later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, Swiss franc as well. I see possible GP Swiss shorts. So overall, the pound is for us, at least for me, very, very weak overall with the data, with the unemployment. And yeah, everything is just breaking down, it seems like, in the economy.
Yeah. No, I agree. So I think opportunity-wise, like pound shorts still stand. Obviously, we've been talking about what is it? GU. GU has been a good short position that has been playing out now relatively well. The reason that we've been going for shorts on GU, and again, we talked about this setup last week as well, is that even if you look at this overall kind of like impulsing towards the highs that facilitated the break of structure in towards the upside, swing low, swing high, market is trading at a premium. So we're still in premium, so we can still short towards discount pricing. And if we look at where discount pricing is, or what we have in discount pricing, we have obviously gotten the first liquidity low. So target for GU kind of like is this overall area within the market for myself. And yeah, I'll probably swing GU towards that low, most likely, depending on what the overall return is going to be on my accounts myself. I secured around, what is it? 3.2% on one account, and on another account 1.5%. So that would mean I'm out, what, 4.7? 4.7? Yeah, so...
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, around 4.7% return just today alone. So February is going to be, again, a very, very good month. So overall, good day. But can be even better, and can be an even better month, because again, I'll hold on to some GU shorts as I see this still heading down lower. So I wouldn't be in any longs at the moment. I'll just hold on to this. Who is in GPUSD shorts, guys? Let us know in the chat, because I think quite a few of you are in GPUSD shorts, guys.
Yeah.
Who is in GPUSD shorts?
In the Discord as well, I saw a lot of people being in GPUSD, because you've been calling it in the outlooks, and it looks super, super good.
Yeah, I think it looks very well from an overall market structure perspective, where again, we're trading at a premium. Liquidity is still open, what we're looking to trade towards. We currently have somewhat of an internal market structure supply zone here that was in control. And I think myself that from a 4-hour perspective, the structure was very clear as well, where we created an overall supply zone over here. This is a strong supply zone. Who knows why this is a strong supply zone, guys? Okay, fantastic. So I see everybody's pretty much in those GU shorts. That's good to see. Does everybody understand why this is a strong area of supply? Does everybody understand why this is a strong area of supply from where we want to be looking for that for the downside on GPUSD? Is everybody aware? Was GU short last week, but then broke even yesterday low? Ooh, that's a tough one to take. I mean, GPAUD shorts. Yeah, I like GPAUD shorts as well. We're going to discuss that one next. I was the early seller
Yeah.
on GU. I'm curious to know then where you sold. Because overall GU, let's see, liquidity plus reversal pattern, liquidity. Yeah, exactly. Took the liquidity. So fantastic, guys. I see you guys understand exactly why this is a strong supply that we want to sell from. That's why we do these live sessions, to educate you guys on why and what the reason is behind us taking these trades, right? So indeed, you understand from a daily time frame perspective that it makes sense to look for a sell, right? The sells in towards the downside, that makes sense. Everybody, I think, understands we're trading at a premium. Yes, you've made a tap into demand, but demand doesn't mean anything, right? Demand zones are everywhere within the market. Areas where the market can potentially reverse for, you're going to find them everywhere. But it's about how the market reacts within your area of interest, right? So yeah, it might be inside of a demand zone, but if supply is still in control and the lower time frame is still in its pullback phase, right? Because we expect the pullback phase to continue until what? Until we take out liquidity and until we see a change of structure. Those are the two things, always. So we're currently in the pullback phase. So that means that when you're trading at a premium, you have supply and control and the market structure is bearish, we can just simply continue to short GPUSD further in towards the downside, towards our area of liquidity, if the lower time frame obviously provides us with a good potential setup. And if we look at the 4-hour time frame, that setup is obviously there, because on the 4-hour time frame we formed a strong indeed area of supply here. And the reason why that is strong supply is, again, it took out liquidity above the high here. After that liquidity swipe, strong continuation in towards the downside. Then what happens within the overall impulse in towards the downside? What do we have? We have liquidity. Where is liquidity situated? This high here, this high here. So again, then you want to be looking for a short position. When do we look for that overall short position? We look for the short position once we see the change in character, once we see the structural shift on top of a liquidity high. So what do we see here? Nothing at all. No entry. A lot of us might be thinking, yeah, I want to take an entry from this area of supply. No entry, because there's no shift in structure. What happens? The market continues pushing up in towards the highs. Then what does it do? It reaches the overall supply zone that took out liquidity to the left. So we know a very strong supply zone. Then what do we see? The market reacts. Initial push down, one more sweep up, taking out everyone who was the early seller in this little move down with the stop loss above the highs. Obviously, your stop would have been safe above the high there. And then we get the change of character. This, again, strong supply zone. Why is this a strong supply zone? The strong supply zone reason is because of the fact that it took out liquidity. So then again, liquidity supply, and then from there, boom, 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 and then it now continued down lower. So yeah, overall some clean price action from GU, and we're seeing it head down lower. And this is obviously the next low target. So for now, just continue looking for more downside until the overall daily liquidity gets taken out. That's kind of like the main target for now on GBPUSD, and we now have bearish order flow. So let's follow that until we reach our overall kind of like target. So yeah, skilled in this morning as well on the overall retracement, because obviously this morning, this kind of like dump down was the initial news push. Then we see the retracement and then boom, another push in towards the downside. So yeah, this is a good hold and I would continue holding this. And obviously we're creating future liquidity where if we retrace towards that, from there we could look for new shorts again in the overall future. So yeah, yesterday was a bank holiday. That's why the markets were not moving, obviously. But across the board inside Discord, we discussed this setup really, really well. Some other setups, GA is selling off as well. GA is on the 1 hour relatively nice. Again, what do we have? We have different or several liquidity highs. I would say here we have a nice liquidation high, because again, what is a strong high? A high that takes out liquidity. So then what do we see? Okay, that is a strong area of supply. Well, you can see as well, indeed, the first time we tapped into that, sold off, second time selling off as well. If you look at it from a market structural perspective, right? Again, we have some internal liquidity here. That internal liquidity gets taken out. What do we see? Kind of like, again, that ascending correction with the one high, the second high, the third high, breaking towards the downside, retraced in towards supply, and from there we're now selling off. So I would be looking for some further downside on GPAD as well. GPNZD milking, also heading down lower. Yeah, nice as well. I wasn't looking at this one myself personally. I was looking more at EURUSD. Not sure if anybody was looking at that. Oscar, maybe you were looking at EURUSD, but EURUSD relatively slow. I was looking at this where
Yeah,
we had
definitely.
the breakdown, internal liquidity taken, change in character, supply zone, and looking for this just to kind of like sell off lower.
Yeah, 100%. I also think that on the higher time frame, it looks good to just continue lower. If I'm correct, there is some liquidity on the left, but I'm not sure on the higher time frame. But yeah.
Yeah, this weekly, you mean?
Yeah, overall, like the overall trend changed since when? Since that the NZD or the New Zealand Central Bank mentioned that rate cuts were probably going to end. And since then, you see Euro NZD just going lower and lower.
Yeah.
So now we just want to continue with the overall momentum.
Yeah, tonight
Right.
is I think the rate announcement, not in New Zealand.
Let's quickly check.
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, tonight's the Central Bank of New Zealand is going to do the rate announcement. So let's see what that is going to be. A rate cut, guys, is going to be, or rate. No, it's not tonight. Oh no, wait,
Tomorrow at 2 a.m.
Yeah. So
For-
tonight, kind of like when most of us are sleeping. A rate
yeah,
cut
yeah.
is obviously bearish. A rate hike is obviously bullish. But the most important thing will be obviously the speech where they speak about what the outcome will be and what future monetary policy is going to be looking like. So that's mainly what you need to monitor. But the main issue in New Zealand at the moment is the labor market, where they're talking about the fact that the labor market is relatively loose. Labor market is not doing very well in New Zealand, as opposed to, for example, in Australia. That's why AD/NZD, for example, has been pushing up a lot higher.
Yeah, and talk about AD/NZD, I think that's also a very beautiful setup for me to look for longs because the AD is stronger as the NZD, and technically it just looks beautiful for me. We have bullish structure.
Yeah,
We now are in the
wow,
pullback. Perfect, right?
wow, guys, oof, this is
Yeah.
looking good.
Yeah, so yeah, again, what are we looking for? We saw the impulsive phase, then we now have the pullback phase where we are taking liquidity
Yeah.
underneath some lows, waiting for the confirmation, and we could start to look for longs soon
This is
this week.
kind of what we're looking for in GPUSD. Like, again, this is exactly what we're looking for in GPUSD. Let me just get that GU chart up as well. I want you guys to see this because what you're looking for on GU ultimately is for it to continue. Wow, GU is selling off like a fucking rocket ship, mate. We're looking for GU to reach this liquidity low. Like AN, you would never go long from this demand zone. Or like you could go long from that demand zone, but it's just so low probability because ultimately you're very well after a breaker structure line. So when you're after the breaker structure, you ideally just want to wait for the retracement toward the daily liquidity point and then see the change of character happen. So with GU, for example, the very first liquidity point is over here. But on, for example, AN, like the main point of liquidity is situated at least over here, or let's say this low here. And now that's taken. And you see straight away a massive, massive reaction. So let's see what happens. I am agreeing with you guys that AN can look very nice, and with Oscar as well. Sorry, Oscar, I kind of like stole your moment of shine here, but I kind of like got very enthusiastic
No
of looking at AN. Please continue, mate.
Yeah, so at the moment, of course, we don't yet want to go long because yes, it looks beautiful. Our bias is bullish. Of course, now we still have supply and control, right? So we just need to wait for the change of character, some more confirmation. There is a demand open on the 4 hour here at the 50% level, maybe something to keep in mind before longing. But yeah, again, that demand, if we hit that, would be even better because then we are even closer to the 50% and even more confirmation that from there, once we have a change of character, we could see possible upside here. And the technicals are beautiful, the fundamentals are beautiful. To me, it looks A+ after confirmation.
Yeah.
I think for you as well, right? A+ setup.
Yeah. I agree fully. I think that we have some very nice. I think we have some very nice overall market structure, right? So if we look at it, like you can see from last session or wherever, this is Monday, from last time that I was viewing this, also from the market outlook that I probably shared with you guys, massive reaction, low 15 pips. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I'll say a very small 15 pip reaction. Sorry, man. I didn't know you got out of bed with the wrong leg, mate. Like I'm
It's
just
okay.
enthusiastic. I just get enthusiastic talking about the charts, but I'll talk in a very boring way. Oh, we saw a 15 pip reaction. No, guys. Like it's come on. Like a little bit of energy. Don't hate, man. Just on being happy. Come on. Spread some happiness. Spread some love. Everybody happy here on stream all together. Just sharing value. All positivity, my guy. I mean, what we have is just beautiful price action here. Again, we have a strong impulse in towards the highs. We have a main point of liquidity. We take out the liquidity. Obviously, at the moment, supply is still in control. The buy before the sell here is in control. So we need to monitor what happens here, right? Because this is a crucial area where a lot of us will start to get some FOMO, right? A lot of us are looking at this chart. Okay, liquidity has been taken. We see a bullish candle. We think, hey, maybe we should enter here. But at this point in time, market structure is still bearish, right? The 1 hour time frame, push down, pull back, push down, pull back, push down. Let's wait just for the overall market structure shift. Get that confirmation in, and then we can definitely start scaling into those longs, because ultimately what we are just always going to be looking for is trading the impulse within the impulse, right? So when we have the impulse and we have now the retracement phase, when is the retracement phase over? That's now the question that we have to ask ourselves, right? We always look for the two things, like always. We wait for the chalk and we wait for the lick swipe. Swipe. Thanks, Harvey. Ik waardeer het, bro. Lick swipe. So again, what we have had now is the lick swipe, right? We had the overall lick swipe on the overall low, but now we need the chalk. So the chalk high here on the 4 hour time frame is this, but there's a difference because the chalk is kind of like a market structure shift. That's kind of like market structure shift. That's what we're looking at, right? But the highest probability will always come from the order flow shift. So you have always, when we look at these two things, this is, let's say, a 7 out of 10. And then like the 10 out of 10 is when we also get the overall, the overall order flow shift. That's when we have the 10 out of 10. So what you always want to see is that order flow shift, that supply zone break. Then when that supply zone breaks, reaches of the overall demand, and then you'll have the overall long position that we can then take. So ideally, you want to be trading the impulse within the impulse. And now we're still in the overall pullback phase, because the pullback phase is this orange phase. And we're looking for the orange phase to end when we see that order flow shift or that structural shift. And that would be a high break here. Now, the problem here with AN is that this high is very close to the overall break of structure high. So ideally, we would still see what happened, another push down towards, for example, this low, then the order flow shift, then the high break, and then obviously you get in the longs, because then what do we have? We have a much, much bigger next impulsive phase, and we had a bigger overall pullback phase. And then what you want to be doing, you want to be trading the impulse within the impulse until the what? Until the overall break of structure line, right? Which is this line over here. So that's what we're now waiting for. And yeah, let's see if we get that. But that would be ideal on ADCHF. Obviously, still some further downside would be ideal. But we are already at a very interesting level, which is, again, main point of liquidity. This is a main point of liquidity. And this one, you could also take this low again, which I just had. So let's see how the market reacts. We've also made a connection with the overall sell before the buy, which is your overall order flow. This is going to be like, for example, on the weekly time frame, your sell before the buy. As you can see over here, this is sell before the buy. So that's always kind of like the minimum requirement before we see the next real push in towards the highs. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. What other pairs, Os? Yeah, the yearly open would be nice as well. AN would be better from lower prices, obviously.
Yeah, again, we have to see what the rate decision is going to be tonight, because yeah, it could definitely already push AD/NZD up higher if maybe they're going to still look or be cautious for that labor market. Overall, yeah, I would hope to see a retracement to the yearly level here. That would be absolutely perfection. However, yeah, if we already see some possible confirmation, yeah, I think AD/NZD could already just fly up.
Yeah.
But again, we need to be waiting patiently and not just getting on the impulsive move or like on the a bullish candle or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, what I think is also still very interesting is possibly GP Swiss. I think we also discussed this one previous week. It took liquidity, like we said,
Oh my God.
above a little high, and yeah, now it's selling off. it tapped the 50% perfectly, as you also can see on your chart here. And from there, took 4-hour liquidity, and yeah, boom, it's just selling off. So that one was one we discussed previous week as well, I think. So yeah, such a beautiful setup as well. Right now, again, we just look for the same thing, a liquidation of some high, and then boom, we just sell off again. That's what I'm looking at least. Again, with that pawn weakness, I think that definitely is something that looks very, very good to me as well.
Yeah. In that regard, then maybe I think GA is the better one, because GA still has a lot of
Yeah.
room to go towards the breaker structure line, right? Because the breaker structure line is like still all the way down here for GA. So any potential kind of like retracement is just another potential short for me on GA. I'll be monitoring the 15. I mean, even if we see kind of like a few strong candle closes below this breaker structure line, this could be the internal liquidity. This is a nice high because it took out this high here to the left. So maybe kind of like liquidate this 15-minute chalk and then look for some shorts again on GA. I think that could be a good setup as well. But yeah, G Swiss is also nice. A lot of momentum has been there. G Swiss was the best trade in
Basically all of
February.
the-
Yeah, man.
All of the bond pairs, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, all pound pairs are
but-
looking good now. I agree. Even
Yeah.
what's your GBP doing? Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Crazy, man. Flying like a roller coaster. That's a song, right? Like
Yeah. So what are you now looking for in your GBP? Because
Oscar doesn't want to hear me
it's
sing.
breaking.
What I want to see in Euro GBP.
Yeah, because it's looking good for some upside, in my opinion. We are almost breaking, let's say, the structure that we can see here.
Yeah.
Right at the high. What is it from? I think it's 20th of January, something there. That is for me like the current swing high. Let's say.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that high. And then basically, if we break that high, that is like actual confirmation that we could possibly look for longs. Then exactly wait for that trend line liquidity to get taken out, and that would be beautiful longs from the monthly level as well. Still need some development, but yeah, that is definitely something I'm waiting on for at least a month right now. So let's see how it develops.
Yeah. No, I fully agree. I think we should be monitoring indeed some setup like that. And yeah, let's see. Let's have the setup come towards us. I think that pound still has a lot of room to fall. Then I see somebody asking about EURUSD. Let's have a look at that. Somebody is in a sell on EURUSD and he is shitting his pants. So let's have a look if we can support his overall sell. All jokes, of course, brother. So AU, yeah, I mean AU looks good. The only thing that I don't like is that, like, I would have preferred for it to maybe with this wick sweep the high and then kind of like form a supply to then kind of like short it. Obviously, it's a very counter trend trade because AU is just simply said bearish. I mean, yeah, bullish, excuse me. So we can see, everybody can see that, yeah, this is your impulse up. And we had a breaker structure towards the upside here. And if we look at liquidity points, you have liquidity here and you have liquidity here. Ideally, we obviously want to be retracing a little bit deeper towards the monthly open before thinking about even longing this. So yeah, I mean, I agree. It looks good to still head down lower as price is currently within its pullback phase. Where do we expect the pullback phase to happen towards? Towards 0.5 fips. So I guess it's still a good hold. Though the Australian dollar is very, very strong. It is one of the strongest G10 currencies over the past few weeks. Main reason being is because they are the only G10 economy that is currently hiking rates, meaning that they are putting higher interest rates, making the currency more attractive, meaning that it's simply said strong. So it's not a good long-term hold. Definitely not, in my opinion. But short-term downside, price action-wise, yeah, it makes sense. This is going to be your target low. So from there, though, I would definitely be managing the position. I would maybe already be managing the position. I don't know where your stop loss is, obviously. Then some questions on, what is it? AD JPY, AD what? What's the other one? AD JPY, NC JPY?
NZD JPY.
I see Dan has a question about that one. We can have a look at that. Your GBP is for the birds, mate. Yeah, I think that's one more an Australian accent than an English one. But yeah, I think you don't not anticipate other push down on ADNSD. We already talked about that. Sometimes I think that the comments are delayed. But ADJPY,
Yeah.
what do you think about ADJPY, Oz?
Yeah, so I saw some people longing it. However, I think it's not ready yet to long, not because of some fundamentals or something, which I also think are for the yen kind of neutral at the moment, do not really have any clear direction, needing to be patient. But technically, yes, we saw at the beginning of the week the 4-hour order flow shift. However, the daily order flow was still bearish, and for that reason, I didn't take a long yet, or I'm not yet looking for longs, because yeah, as you can also see, I don't know if I can draw on the screen. I cannot,
No, you cannot, I
but
think.
yeah, like you basically broke the overall, let's say, immediate trend into the downside, and especially on the daily, that's like you going to be your supply in control. So yes, you had a 4-hour change of character into the upside at the beginning of the week, but still this daily supply is in control. Hence why I'm just being a bit patient here, because let's say you now break the low at previous week Friday low, I think it
You mean like
was.
this? You could just head
Exactly.
down
Yeah.
lower.
Possibly head down lower. And
Yeah.
only if that order flow or that supply breaks bullish, I will be looking for longs, just to be sure, because at the moment, the yen is quite tricky as well, right? So for me, I want to see the actual confirmation, enough confirmation, because fundamentally, it's not in a clear direction at the moment for me, because I don't really see a lot of weakness on the yen, because I don't know if you already saw it, but there is around a 70% chance of a rate hike in April. So yeah, that is obviously going to strengthen the yen a lot. Hence why I'm being careful.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the moment, the only opportunity I think that there would be for an ADJPY long is if we see a break of this overall supply zone here. At the moment, you can clearly see that we just taken out an internal liquidity point, and that's just pushed the market down lower. So we're currently stalling at the monthly open, which is obviously, which is again a natural area of support. But we could look for longs, I think, only if we break this order flow here, and then maybe. But for now, definitely kind of like more bearish narrative, bearish momentum is in control, so it doesn't make sense to look for longs just now yet. I would agree that NZJPY is a similar story. We've had an amazing run up over the past few months. I think that is, first of all, very, very clear. Is momentum kind of like shifting a little bit? Does seem like it. Obviously, from going from very, very clear kind of like price action, I would say here in this phase, to seeing kind of like the first daily bearish change of character since a long time. I think this is the first a daily bearish change of character since November. So that's definitely something that we just need to consider. Some momentum is taking off, or is vanishing, whatever way you want to put it. So
Definitely.
we need to be safe. We need to wait. At the moment, NZJPY is also just consolidating here. The New Zealand dollar is strong, Australian dollar is strong, but the yen is getting stronger as well. Fundamental wise, the yen, again, even though interest rates have been on the rise and interest rate talks of rising have been talked about widespread in Japan, still the yen weakened for many, many months. So why is it suddenly getting stronger just now? That is kind of like the big question that's on everybody's mind. Obviously, the short on the yen is slightly overcrowded potentially. But the thing is that if NZJPY and ADJPY wanted to head up higher again with the trend, it should have already gone, in my opinion. So for now, again, similar to ADJPY, we have supply here in control. We took out the internal liquidity, and we're heading down lower again. So only once we break out of this range towards the upside and see some momentum return, I'll be getting into longs. Other than that, I would just stay out and focus on some of the other pairs. That's kind of like my thing for the yen at the moment. I see some questions about ADCHF. ADCHF, I'm looking for longs as well. The only thing that is concerning me on ADCHF is the overall liquidity that we are building up. Because at some point in time, we're going to be raiding the lows, and we're going to be laughing at all the trendline traders. And the kind of like the fear that I have is that we're going to be trendline traders ourselves, because we're longing this shit. So we're having ascending low, ascending low, ascending low, ascending low, ascending low, ascending low. So you have ascending lows. Demand is in control, though. That is definitely the fact. And there's no guarantee when this thing is going to sell off, because again, the Australian dollar has been strong. But the thing at the moment, and why would it then suddenly sell off? Yeah, well, there's no good reason for that, because indeed demand here is in control. Again, demand is in control, and now once again demand is still in control. We swept the internal liquidity low, and yeah, it should now head up higher. The only thing here from a 4-hour perspective is we don't have a bullish change of character able to take place until we swipe this low here. So ideally, I would just let it kind of like rage one more time towards the downside. This becomes your supply zone. Wait for that supply zone to break, boom, boom, and then I go along over here. That's kind of like what I would ideally just want to see from ADCHF at this moment. Personally, that's kind of like what I'm waiting there for on ADCHF. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do see, of course, the order flow and the bullish structure on the 4-hour could just continue to go up higher.
But we should take this
I'm just
high.
being a bit careful. Yeah, we took the high and tapped the supply there as well on the weekly.
Yeah, big short could be coming
so-
indeed. Big short could be coming.
Exactly. With that trend line liquidity that we are building up, and at the low of the trend line, we have the yearly open. Maybe something where we could tap into as well. So yeah, obviously we could just continue with the overall order flow, but I think maybe in the future we need to start to actually being very careful, because if price would retrace into the yearly level, then probably this could be a point where we see the retracement from. We have a weekly supply and weekly liquidity. Looks good to see possible downside, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, looking at the 4-hour could continue a bit higher, but once we see these shifts into the downside, might be looking for some shorts as well.
Yeah, I see someone saying EURUSD and GBPUSD are the cleanest ones this week. I agree definitely on GA. GA, I would sell the living shit out of that thing. I think that thing is going to drop a massive still. I like. We're currently well within our impulsive phase. We've had an impulsive phase in towards the downside here. We had our pullback phase, and now again we're in the impulsive phase. So yeah, I mean we're looking for another short. Where's the short going to play out from? Let's see. Again, 15-minute time frame wise, we've had a break of structure down. I would like to see some more kind of like strong bearish candlesticks, and then let's say a higher retracement before looking for the next short. If you want to look at this from a 1-hour perspective, then obviously, yeah, where's your 1-hour liquidity situated? Here. So then you would be looking at a short, more something like this, with your stop loss here, targeting the new kind of like lower low again. So I think a GA short like that would also make sense. I agree with you. Pound, weakness, that would be nice. With some AD strength. So keep an eye on that GA short, excuse me. Euro AD, I agree as well. Momentum has been in towards the downside. This seems like it does still want to head down lower. As long as kind of like the order flow remains bearish, yeah, let's just sell it again. Supply here, kind of like the bigger supply zone is here. To be honest, if I look at this high here, I wouldn't be surprised if that gets taken out first before seeing the next sell. It's kind of like inside the overall supply zone, if that makes sense. So let's have a look at the 4-hour, and then on the 4-hour time frame, it would be very nice to take that high out, because you can kind of see, hey, here we have the breaker structure, here we have the liquidity high. So highest probability short will come from that high, and then look for kind of like the sell there. Personally, that's what I would be waiting for. And then Euro CHF. That one, monthly open last week, huh? Again, monthly open as always, kind of like doing its thing. And then let's have a look at gold for the people. Have a look at gold. Yeah, gold is to a certain extent untradeable, man, for me at least. I don't know what you think about it.
Yeah, so what I think is basically we have been respecting the overall major lows here, but at the moment we're slowing down in momentum a lot. So we have seen that impulsive move into the downside, basically swiping almost everyone that was in gold at that moment. And now a lot of people could say, well, we are going back to the highs, which is possible still at the moment, but it seems like we're reacting from the 50% here. So we basically had the impulsive move into the downside. Now we could have a pullback, and we could see another impulsive move to the yearly level, for example. So that is definitely something that I'm being careful about. So not yet looking actively for new gold positions until we break the high at 5,100 for the people. Then I think we could possibly see further upside if we break that clearly. But yeah, at the moment, I think we hit the 50% of that move down and the yearly level is open. Maybe we see one more push down. However, if we start to just break up higher, then I think we could possibly also go up higher. So one of the two things at the moment, and then yeah, wait how we develop, wait if we could see further downside right now. If we respect the highs, obviously we could go lower. If we start to break the highs right now, we could just follow the order flow up higher as well. So not in any clear direction for me at the moment, like you said as well, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, not much to say. Obviously, we had kind of like this high here. You could consider this a breaker structure. At the same time, it's more just a swipe of liquidity. So
Yeah.
what you could kind of like see this as is maybe now gold would just try and push back down towards this low soon. Kind of like from range high to range low, right? Swipe the high and now the low is kind of like still open. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing just sells off. It's not a high probability trade
Yeah.
at all for myself, taking those longs now.
If it breaks the monthly level here as well, we could definitely go to that liquidity low.
Yeah.
But let's see if we get a reaction from the monthly level here.
Yeah, let's see.
That could
Monthly
possibly
level is
push it
always
up
a good
higher.
level to buy from, I guess. Like the only buy I would say is here is if we break this high now aggressively, and then maybe we could
Yeah,
go fully
aggressively.
gasolina up. We take out these lows, because if you look at this from like a fib perspective, we're pretty much exactly on the 0.5 fib of this little range here. So yeah,
Yeah.
from that perspective, that's the only long that makes sense. Is it high probability? I'll leave that to you guys. Yeah, EuroCAD, somebody's asking. EuroCAD dog shit.
Again.
As always, as always, as always, as always. If it then it finally moves up, and then you finally think the thing is gonna move, and then what happens? It just goes to its old habits, man. This thing just goes from range to pump, and then just straight back to range,
Yeah.
like every single time, bro. Like I again really don't understand why, in the name of Forex, crypto, futures, your life, why you would even again waste 2 brain cells on this bullshit, man.
Yeah.
I see some people asking about Swiss yen. Swiss yen. Swiss yen is kind of like the only yen pair that I kind of like at the moment, I guess, for a long.
Yeah.
Like yearly open, smooched exactly within the overall 4-hour kind of like market structure. All of these lows like pretty much taken, right? So the thing is, it's consolidating. So there's not really it's not really kind of like any question what you should do with Swiss yen. It's more kind of like just it's just kind of like more a statement that you should just not touch it because it's ranging. So
wait for the
wait for the momentum to return. Wait for market structure to form, because otherwise it can just head down lower. It's currently just stuck, so it doesn't make sense to even get involved with this thing.
It could be a falling knife as well.
Yeah, it could be a falling knife. Agree. So not much there. Are there any other pairs that we've missed, guys? Is there anything that we didn't discuss yet? Somebody's asking USD-CHF shorts and USD CAD as well. Nah, USD-CHF, nah, man. I don't know what you see there. This stuff is nothing.
Not yet, no.
I was talking about this on the market outlook. Like, it would need to break this low, and then only then could you look for a short. Otherwise, for now, demand's still in control. Like, don't even touch it.
I think CAD Swiss is something that, for me isn't really A plus, but it could definitely head down lower. But yeah, it's very slow at the moment. However, on the daily as well, you're bearish. On the 4-hour, you're bearish. On the weekly, you're bearish. So all time frames are bearish. And I guess you could just continue the order flow. It isn't the absolute best, but I do still see some downside, because for me as well, the CAD is at the moment weaker than a Swiss franc. And then we could just continue to go lower as well if you look at all time frames. So that's CAD Swiss for me. I don't know how you look at CAD Swiss. At the moment, we're basically consolidating, so it's not really that interesting. But if there is another pair where we could look at something, then possibly this. But I would prefer something like GU shorts or any other pair that we've discussed. CAD Swiss is very, very slow at the moment. But
I think the best opportunities are still with the momentum kind of like returning and us seeing some confirmation in bias for those USD pairs. I think that EURUSD and GBPUSD are starting to kind of like finally get a little bit cleaner, where I think personally EURUSD market structure wise not so, but GBPUSD a lot more, because I still see that that dollar or that pound weakness. So I'm just looking for some skill wins. Again, another retracement. I'll just look for another short back down towards the yearly open and towards this liquidity low. That's kind of like what I'm looking at the moment. Also, any kind of like retracements before hitting this low as well. If we, for example, were to retrace today, I would just be looking for a short from this high here. I would be looking for a short from that high. Want to change your character and just sell it off again. So I like that. And then Euro USD also some further downside. Yeah. Euro yen. We didn't look at that. No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, Euro yen, I have a risk to reward tool on this. The reason being is because, yeah, I was kind of like fantasizing a short in my head, but at the same time, I'm like, Fabio,
No.
what are you going to do?
Yeah, but it is definitely changing structure, and the fundamentals could in the future possibly, let's say in April, they provide us with with a rate hike. Well, then it's probably seeing some downside, right? Like a pullback. I was looking also as well like at CAD yen. Again, it's like not any A plus setup at the moment. We still have been trending up higher, but CAD yen, I think definitely still was something that with the weakness of CAD itself could go lower. But yeah, like I also think you are not really seeing any beautiful positions on the yen at the moment.
No.
Right? We have
The trend
long,
is
shorts,
the trend
everything
is
could
unclear
happen.
for now. Yeah, somebody's asking about USD CAD. Just to tune in for USD CAD. USD CAD could still head up a little bit higher. I'm kind of like looking at it to react to this trend line, 1, 2, and then third touch, and then give us a little reaction down, and then give us a spike up. Kind of like take out all of the highs, and then from there, then it could be a sell. That's the only opportunity I see on USD CAD. Other than that, not looking for a short at the moment. So I'm kind of like looking at this high before thinking about shorting it. Only from that high.
Yeah, I think it's a daily liquidity point, if I'm correct. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah.
For me, the exact same
Yeah,
yearly level as
it's
well.
daily liquidity as well. Yeah, that hasn't been taken yet.
Yeah.
Some people are asking
Yeah.
about use JPY. Yeah, I mean, guys, you have to understand the yen basket is nothing. UJ is nothing. Like UJ is literally what? UJ is literally dog shit at the moment. Like it's consolidating. It's not trending. We need a trending market on UJ. We need price action like this. We need price action like this down. At the moment, it's nothing. So just don't even get involved. There's no sell opportunity on this, from my personal
Yeah.
perspective.
No, for me as well. And if it goes lower, you also don't need to be like you miss a setup, because it could also easily could have gone higher right now. It's not trending. So if you look at like the other pairs that we discussed, GBPUSD, for example, EURUSD, they're trending. So it's more clear, or higher probability at least, than a rangy pair like this.
Yeah, agree. All right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it from my side, guys. Anything to add there, Oz?
No, I think we discussed every single Forex pair that has some potential.
Yeah, 80 CAD is the last one I think that we haven't discussed yet. There's a CAD news, no, later today, I think. No, or was it already?
It already happened.
I was in a
1
meeting.
hour
What
ago.
happened? Inflation rate was
It's
lower than expected.
basically, yeah,
So
exactly.
bearish CAD ultimately.
Yeah, still for me, yeah.
Okay, then it
Definitely.
means that 80 CAD could still head up higher, I guess.
Uh-huh.
The thing
I'm
that's
not a
good about
huge
80
fan,
CAD is it
but
took this low here. That's nice. The major low is this one though.
yeah,
That one is still open. This is the impulse. And
yeah,
indeed, the bigger fan would be us when price would be at this low here. That's the better long.
exactly. Yeah, because now we also do not have like a change of character. There's still supply and control, so we could grab that lower liquidity before actually seeing higher prices.
Yeah.
Talking about metals quickly, I saw some people look at silver and copper longs. Yeah, in order to see metal longs, I think we need to see some momentum pop in before we could actually again long these metals. At the moment, they are recovering from that big sell-off. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
and being
that's
big
basically for
pump
all
up. I
metals.
mean, if you look at copper, it's also nothing, I think, no? Yeah, copper
It's
is, yeah,
consolidating.
it's consolidating, guys. It's obviously kind of like support, but it's consolidating. Still some lows open. Yeah, not too much, not too much. So yeah, I'll stick to those GU and EU cells, and appreciate everybody taking the time to be here. As always, don't forget to leave a like on the stream. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and yeah, appreciate you guys taking the time. Sorry that I was a little bit late today. It happens. That's life, and we'll be back tomorrow with a live stream at 2:30, where we will have some live trading on Nasdaq. So make sure to be there. And yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate you all. Good stream as always, and I'll update you inside Discord if we see anything interesting in Oscar as well. Right, Oz?
Yeah, 100%. I'll also update my update channel for you guys. And it was a fun live session. See you guys next week.
Ciao.